Hi everyone, welcome to this Google Digital Garage training session on writing for social media, today in partnership with Wenta. My name is Benedict. I'm a trainer for Google's free skills training program, Google Digital Garage. Just a bit about myself. I am an experienced coding specialist and digital skills trainer, as well as having a background in the digital creative industry, and I've worked in this sector for over 20 years. I would also like to introduce our amazing moderator, Mohammed. Mohammed is also a Google Digital Garage coach and will be interacting with you and answering just about all of your questions via the instant chat to the right there. You can identify the moderator by his name, Mohammed, as well as a little blue spanner next to his name. Now, just before we start, I just wanted to call out a few things to help you today. Firstly, if you are having any trouble viewing the webinar right at any point, please do try refreshing your page. Okay, if you would like to join the instant chat today, and please do, it's a great opportunity to interact and everything and ask questions. You do need a YouTube account, which you can very easily set up by clicking on the box on the right there. Another thing as well, if you see the screen as pixelated, do have a look at the resolution. If you click on the bottom right, you'll see it's often on auto. You take it out from auto and you put it on high definition, and then you can see everything even clearer. Okay. Now we'll be pausing throughout the session, and hopefully Mohammed will be kind enough to pass some of the questions across to me, and I'll be able to answer those particular questions. So fire away with your questions throughout. Just to let you know, we are running this Google Digital Garage virtual training as part of a broader offering of courses. If you would like to check out our schedule of upcoming webinar training, please see the information on this in the description below, which links you through to our website. And no doubt Mohammed will be providing with a link as well. So that's the housekeeping done. Let us now get started with writing for social media in partnership with Wenta. So this one is a very popular one. I remember when I was down in Portsmouth with my colleagues and everything, we used to compete, particularly for this particular talk. Okay, so we're going to be covering three particular areas here. Now, firstly, we're going to look at what a brand tone of voice is. Now, it's a crucial primary step for anyone writing on social media. And we'll also look at the building blocks for shaping your own brand tone of voice. Secondly, we're going to cover some principles for improving your writing on social media. It's a real skill, but we've got some tips we hope will help. Okay. Sorry, my apologies. I just realized I didn't have the captions on. I've turned them on now. My apologies for those who needed them before. They're on now, from now on. Okay. And finally, we're going to cover some of our favorite tools for content creation. And we picked ones that, you know, won't break the bank. This is the whole thing. Will really help. Okay, so it's great. I can see quite a few of you here at this talk. So great opportunity. So do fire away with your questions and all. We're here to assist you and help you. All right, first of all, very, very important, we've got free one-to-one mentoring with one of us. We can be there to assist you and help you, give advice as best we can as mentors. So it's a great opportunity, whether you're building up your business plan, or whether you're at the stage where you're trying to reach more customers, or you're at the stage where you've got already a lot of clientele, but you're wanting them to come back, you know, all those different things. So we are here to assist you and help you. So there's a free one-to-one mentoring, and it's always helpful if you have someone to speak to. The point is, this is totally free. There are no charges or anything, and you can have as many as you like. So do check that one out there, and no doubt Mohammed, in fact, Mohammed will be providing you there with a link as well to help you. Okay, so, all right. First of all, defining your brand on. Oh, but before we do that, let me just see. I love to welcome people when you arrive. So do tell us where you're signing on from. And let me see now. Welcome, Cornetta Williams-Walker. Cornette from Greater Manchester. That's great. And Upili, I think it's pronounced. I'm not quite sure. From St. Albans, Hertfordshire. That's great. And Javeria, good morning. Good morning to you. Fraser from the UK. Excellent. Welcome. Welcome, Bella, Belinda, Invisibility. Good morning to you. Robert, let me see now who I've mentioned. Rima from Indonesia, welcome. Upili is feeling cold. Yes, I'm up in Sheffield and it certainly is cold. I was wading through thick snow up to my knees, actually, today. So let me see now. And World Love On, yes, welcome. That's great. I'm so glad we're a good resource for you. That's wonderful. And Robert from Sleating, Elizabeth from Manchester. World Love On is from London. Excellent. Bella from Austria. Pens from Hertfordshire. Robert from Watford, Hearts. Loretta from South Africa. That's actually from where I was born and grew up. English parents, but I was born and grew up there. Kenzo, Belgium. Jody from Lincoln, UK. Elzan from South Africa. Another one from South Africa. That's excellent. Welcome. Shirley, good morning. Anaditi, hello to you. Sam from Uganda. Swaroop, welcome. And Elizabeth, good morning. Sorry, I'm taking quite a long time over these, but it's just quite nice to welcome you all. And we've also got Elizabeth from Manchester, Guarav from India, Lais from Brazil, and then Design Chambers, Richard from Essex, excellent, welcome. Shirley from Bedfordshire, and Mark from Stevenage, Hearts, and Memory 25, evening from Singapore, great. And Jeff from Hanslope, UK, Swaroop from Manchester, Alison from Pembrokeshire, Gavin from Hertfordshire, and Ronka from Peterborough. Wow, Sravansi from India, Balu from Belfast, and Razwan from Bangladesh. Wow. It's so wonderful to have all of you here. My apologies if I missed anyone. I've tried to cover absolutely everyone, which has been great, reading through all of your names and everything, and welcoming you from the different places of the world. Anyway, I better move on now. Yes, indeed. Very much. So let us move on. So defining your brand on social media. So, and hello, Nikki from London, and Alina from the UK. Welcome. So let's have a look at this. I'll check later if there's any more who have arrived anyway. So what is a brand tone of voice? Okay. If you think about it, tone of voice could be threatening, could be welcoming, could be amusing, laughing, those different kind of things. So the big thing is you're looking for your brand or business. You know, how would it speak? The way you could ask yourself is, how would it speak if it was a real person like you or me? You know, the words they would use, how they would behave, how they would respond in certain situations, and how they would dress as well. All of those different things to give you an idea, feel for the particular tone of voice, okay? So the personality of your brand or business. Now, the way your brand or business would speak if it was a person. So tone of voice reflects your brand personality. If you think about it, your brand has a personality itself. And if it hasn't, you need to think around this to make sure you can work out what that brand is. So it helps you connect with your audience and makes you different from the rest. It makes you stand out, all right? So let's look at some examples, you know, the way your brand or business would speak if it was a person. So if your business or brand was a celebrity, let's start with this to give you an idea. Who would it be and why? So we've got here, for example, Bill Nye, informed, approachable, goofy. George Clooney, sophisticated, laid back, smooth. Beyonce, strong, empowered, alluring. Not only using these ones, but who do you think would be the celebrity who would be your company? So if you share that with us on the chat, I'll be able to see it immediately. So do tell us which celebrity you would think that you would like to represent your company, to be your brand. Let's see now. It'd be interesting what comes up. I hope I'll be able to pronounce all the names that I see coming up. But who do you think, which celebrity? Okay, I know there's a slight delay, so of course I talk and then there's a slight, oh great. So Deepak Chopra or Oprah Winfrey? Absolutely, yes, for World Love On, great stuff. Or even Oprah Winfrey welcoming Deepak Chopra, you know, in her shows. Shirley and Mesh of the Three, wow. Of those three, that's great. Let me see now. Rezwan, Beyonce, Sam, Beyonce, Upili, RDJ, okay, Pens, Russell Brand, yes, quite a character, that one. Sravanthi, Priyanka Chopra, okay, great. Alina, George Clooney, and Swaroop, RJD, yes, and Gavin, George marries Bill. Okay, cool. Belinda, Julie Andrews, and then we've got MR, Jim Carrey, yes, and then Jeff, Muhammad Ali, great stuff, yes. MOX, I think it's pronounced, or Mox, I'm not sure. Bill Nye, yeah. Elizabeth, Jack Black, Invisibility, Stephen Hawkins, yeah, great. Cornetta, Oprah Winfrey, great stuff. Wonderful. Thank you so much. Okay, I better move on. I'll take forever here. So all of these different things, it really does help you, give you an idea of the kind of words they would use, how they would behave, how they would respond in certain situations, how they would dress, how they will put themselves forward. Rezwan, thank you. Another one. Cristiano Ronaldo. Yes. So it gives you, and all of these different things gives you a feel for your company and what it represents. But one of the big things, MR, yes, Muhammad Ali, great. The kind of thing that what your company stands for, the principles, all of those different things, gives you a feel for it, and then you can get the sort of tone of voice as well. So if you use that for yourself, that helps masses, and a lot of you come up with some great ideas. And if you think about as well, why those particular people, what do they represent, which you represent as well, and what, all those different things, and similarity, and the things in principle that they're the same, and or the way that they stand, or the way that they communicate with people, all of those different things, it really can give you some great ideas. Maybe you won't be able to afford all of them, but the whole point is to give you ideas to get you started for that, that personality of your brand. Okay. All right. So I know I can spend a little bit more time on this talk because there's not too many slides on this, and I can do that, but I've got to be careful with the time I spend. But it's so wonderful. Thank you so much for your contribution. This is really nice. It's really nice. I can see, there's questions, contributions. It's just wonderful. That's the whole point. The more you can, take part in these talks and take down your own notes and work out, how it would be for your company, even if you change your mind later, the whole point is you get started here, so it's really, really helpful, I hope, for you as well. Okay, so now, of course, creating a brand tone of voice can actually take quite a long time. So, it can intuitively know what a brand would or wouldn't do, but it's good to get these down on paper so it's really clear for yourself. And as I said before, if you write down some of these things that you have in common, principles and those kind of things, or the way they stand, the way they communicate, or, okay, so... But we've come up with 4 main steps really to help you develop your brand tone of voice. Structure always helps. And so in all of our talks, we talk about certain structures that you can use for all of these different things. Sadly not, Gaurav. Yes, that's something I forgot to mention actually in the one-to-one. I'm afraid at present it's only in the UK, but hopefully this will eventually expand. Of course, obviously it's been carrying on for quite a long time, but eventually, obviously, there's pilot programs that eventually develop in different directions. But hopefully, in the future, Gaurav, we will have it for different countries, particularly. Okay. Yeah, my apologies about that. So 4 steps to help you develop your brand tone of voice. So first of all, we've got here brand values, use a pen portrait, how you speak, and choose your words. Now we're going to go through each of these specifically to help you. All right. So what does your brand or business stand for? So important, your brand values. So before you actually start thinking about your tone of voice, in the written form, you need to wind it back to your company values. What do you stand for? And that's why choosing a celebrity as well helps you. What does that celebrity stand for that you have in common with your company? You know what I mean? Welcome, Kuntal. Welcome. So all of those things can help. So what you stand for, is it, is it excellent customer service? Maybe is it best atmosphere, unbiased reporting, or it could be principles like things like natural ingredients in what you're selling or whatever, things like that, or reducing the carbon footprint, not increasing the digital footprint, which of course you all need to do, but reducing the carbon footprint, which is of course for the earth. And so these different things that you stand for can really help you. So now, of course, these are different from just your mission statement or the facts of what you do. It's why you do it and what you stand for, what motivates you, what gets you up in the morning to carry on with your business, what motivates you, why you've chosen particularly this for your company, you know what I mean? So all of these things are so important really to help you. Okay, great. Kuntal, Sachin, I can't pronounce the name very well. Tendulkar, yes, great. So all of these different things to help you. It's really a great first step because it'll go on to shape your tone of voice, which is so important. Okay. All right. Now, here we've got two examples of some brand values that, these particularly lovely fictitious establishments are keeping to. So, for example, Nico's Pizzeria is making quality pizza with fresh ingredients, provide excellent customer service, and fast and reliable home delivery or takeaway. Whereas you see, we've got here on the right, we've got the Hathaway Legal, dedicate the highest level of diligence to each case. We believe that our clients deserve a quick response. We only hire top lawyers who have trained at prestigious institutions. So we're using these two as example, Nico's Pizzeria and Hathaway Legal. We're going to go through each of the different processes with you on this. So reflect on this. So if you think about this particular example and how it actually applies. Now, so we're going to go through all of these different sides to help you. So how would you describe a core member of your audience? This is the user pen portrait, all right? This really helps you get a feel for the different things. If you imagine the person who you're talking to and everything, you've got the pen portrait, then what we call as well persona, the persona who you're communicating with. And if you can hone it down to that particular person who you're communicating with, it helps a lot in the whole process of the tone of voice and how you're coming across to the person and all of that kind of thing. It's a little bit like, when you're giving a talk and everything, often you imagine there's just one person who's really important to you, who you're communicating with. That helps as well. But again, of course, it's that thing of working out who you're communicating with and making sure that you are directing it and with the tone of voice and all that kind of thing for that persona. And the ideal of this, you see, you get a pen portrait, you're kind of reducing it down so that you've got this, you kind of always hone it down to this one person. Do they keep pets? What's the name of their pet? Are they into, the different things? Where do they live? What's the kind of colors of their favorite? But all sorts of different things really to build this kind of thing in your mind. So you've got to clear who you're communicating with. All right. It really does help you to really think about your audience and therefore develop your tone of voice, of course, to make sure it's on the right track. So in marketing speak, we call these pen portraits because they are a way of painting a vivid picture of your audience using words, really. It may sound silly, but the more detail you can create in your pen portraits, the better. For example, what is their pet's name, which I was mentioning before? How do they get around? Favorite food, political stance, all of those different things. Are they married? Do they have children? I mean, I can tell you, when you do have children, suddenly your world does change. Suddenly where you're living is so important to be able to get into certain schools and all the rest. So, all of these different factors do change their view on, the world and everything. So by understanding pen portraits, you can write as though you were speaking directly to your readers, creating text that is most relevant and approachable. All right, so this is particularly the persona or the pen portrait that you're going to work on. There's a well-known one we have here. I'm not quite sure exactly where this quotation is from, but create content for everyone, create content for no one. Because really the point is, your clients, you can't say it's everyone, I'm afraid, because it's got to be, you've got to work out who you're really honing this towards. I mean, admittedly, let's say it's almost like everyone, but you've got different divisions. Fair enough. But the point is, then you've got different divisions of your marketing, and one you need to hone towards that particular division. This one you need to hone towards that division. So you've got to work with that kind of thing. So you're making sure that you are directing, targeting to the right kind of people. Okay. All right. And so the more you can paint it, the better, the clearer, the better. I mean, my children do a lot of art, and of course they're constantly, but of course, if you can do it, however rough, even sketch the person to give you a feel for it, that can help as well. So we've got here now Nico's Pizzeria and Hathaway Legal. Now they've honed this down to their particular pen portrait or persona who they're particularly directing this at. So Nico's Pizzeria, Simon, young, single, professional in his late 20s, works full-time in advertising, living in Brighton, leads a very busy work and social life, has a big appetite for adventure, a keen athlete who enjoys playing football, but also goes to his local bar with his mates to watch televised sporting events. So that gives you some idea. And then Hathaway Legal, Sally, early 30s, single. Her first time buying a new apartment in Leeds city centre, works for an insurance company, enjoys reading the newspaper and drinking a macchiato at a nearby coffee shop, tech fanatic and enjoys getting the latest gadgets, graduated with a degree in history, a bit of a grammar nerd, appreciates quality. I'm just going to take myself off the screen briefly so you can see it a little bit clearer there, which I should have been maybe done a little bit earlier, but there you can see the full description. Okay, so those are two examples to get you started, to give an example. So if you can sort of work out something along these lines, the closer to the person, the better. All right. So use a pen portrait. Now, these are the main questions, we should really ask ourselves about our audience in order to really build an accurate description of who we're really talking to. So gender, name, age, where do they live, marital status, job status, children, earnings, hobbies, interests, values, things they care about, job title, budget owner, decision maker, industry, talents, ambitions, politics. That's just to start with. All right, so that's to give you an idea of some of the different things. All right, just to get you started. Ideally, Orain, you do quite a lot of research to make a persona as much as possible. Now, don't forget, ideally, you're looking at some of your clients already. And obviously, that's the ideal situation. But if you don't have clients yet, look at your competitors and work out who maybe with your unique selling point, who your particular target audience would be. All right, just to get you started there, Orain. There's also things like think with Google, find your audience to help you, things like that, which will help you with sort of gauging some of the different things. There we go. Mohammed's given you even more of an answer, so that's fab. So what describes the personality of your brand or business? So, how you speak particularly. So, we're now at the stage where we're trying to, try this for your business. You pick 3 to 5 descriptive words to form a basis of how you communicate online. Now, you can use these adjectives to get a feel for the copy you're actually writing, and it will help you tweak it where necessary. Now, this is particularly if you have people who work for you who are creating these. You need to go through these yourself and then provide this as an idea for those people and what to keep with and what not to write, to give you an idea. So, for example, we've got, if you think as well, particular slides, what are the 3 things? If you had 3 things to define your company, what would they be? So we've got here charm, authenticity, family. This is Nico's Pizzeria. Hathaway Legal is powerful, efficient, experienced. Any of you, please, if you could define your company in 3 words, what would those 3 words be? that really does help you give an idea. We have another talk actually where we talk a little bit deeper about this, and I think we give you an example of some of the different words you could choose from as well to just get you started. So what 3 words would really define your company? Now, I'm going to carry on, but I'll keep looking back just to see if you've put anything. All right, so create some guidelines for the words you will and won't use. So now this is choosing your words. Okay, so ways of greeting people, ways of signing off, thanking people, how you describe your products, the way you use to describe your customer. You know, are you formal or are you informal? All of those different areas. So here we've got Nico's Pizzeria. They don't go by customer. They don't go by using the eat side, but they've got fresh. Ciao, hello. It's kind of on the verge, but no, they're not. Haven't got it. So ones particularly they've crossed out are and hi and restaurant are crossed out. So they have, and the ideal ones in gold, they're, as it were, fresh, welcome, appetizing. There we go. And sort of in between ciao, hello, and enjoy. Okay. Thank you, invisibility. We've got dependable, local, and friendly. Excellent. What we're particularly needing now, that's for sure, especially after, well, during the lockdown, and I suppose after the lockdown, after what we've learned. That's great. Thank you, invisibility. So then we've got Hathaway Legal. The ones they would never use is best wishes, cheers, fab, thanks. Especially, I think, fab. That's too casual. And then great, okay. But particularly they would prefer to use kind regards, excellent, thank you. There we go. It's more formal. All right. So let me see now if there are any questions. Oh, excellent. Thank you, Coronetta. We've got here diverse, compassionate, and supportive. Excellent. Wow. Great stuff. Let me just see now if there are any questions. I know I've sort of dealt with some of the questions myself, and of course, Mohammed has been answering them as well. Sorry, Mohammed, I've been... Oh, there we go. Rezwan, we've got friendly, wide, trustable. Excellent, thank you. And Shirley, we've got new, fresh, and authentic. Excellent. Great stuff. Nice. Okay. Any questions there, Mohammed? Let me just see if there's any. I think I've probably looked at most of them whilst I've been giving the talk, really. So, that's an interesting question you've got there, Nikki. Is this a kind of ICA, ideal customer avatar? Yes, you could say in some ways ideal customer. If you imagined it as an avatar, absolutely. I think I'm not quite sure what you're referring to with ideal customer avatar, but it sounds like, you know, what you're talking about. Then we've got, yes, another thing is don't forget, people, that you can't see these slides because, of course, they are copyright, but you can see this up till 24 hours after the end of the talk. So when I finish, you can still go back, but don't go back yet, otherwise you'll miss out on taking part in the chat. Jeff, we've got professional, inspired, and bulletproof. Wow, that's cool. I like the last one, bulletproof. Great stuff. So no questions at present. I'm going to move on to the next section. Okay, so writing for social media. Okay, yes, I can see with the time and a little bit over time anyway. So I love this quotation we've got. I'm not quite sure if it should be attributed to Blaise Pascal or Winston Churchill, but it really reigns true for social media. I would have written a shorter letter, but I did not have the time. And of course, the big thing is, you know, shorter letter takes more time because you're mulling over, you're kind of working out, you know, I mean, a long letter, you just keep writing. But a shorter letter, you've got to hone it down. You've got to cut it down to what's important and all those different things. And it actually takes longer. Thank you, Sravanti. Unique, simple, and likable. Excellent. So the average human attention span is now 8.25 seconds. I think, quite frankly, by now it's even less because we've got so much to look at. You know, we go from one thing to another. We've got this thing right for the goldfish. Now, this is not an insult, please understand. we are like goldfish because there is so much to choose from. I don't know about you. We go to the shopping center. I want a loaf of bread, and it's like, okay, I just want a loaf of bread, and there's so many different kinds, which is fabulous. Don't get me wrong, but there's so much choice always along the way. So because there's so much choice, we have little time for the different things. And that's why we do have such a short attention span, other than the fact, of course, social media, there's so much social media. You know, you see typically this action going through social media because it's just so much choice that we have. So, of course, you've got very little time. The great thing here, to put it into a nutshell, is assume your reader will only read the first half of your sentence. And it's the same applies with videos. You know, imagine, you want to watch, the first 2 to 3 seconds. That's the time you've got till they go, no, forget it. So the big thing is, will they be engaged immediately with this? Will they, still be intrigued enough to carry on? This is the big thing. So it's really, you work out that first half, which is so important. Because if you go for the full sentence or the full video, often you might have lost them by then. Yes. So now focus on the user particularly. So the golden rule that they use at Google is to focus on the user. So this truly means empathizing about what people are interested in and what they need. This is the thing, of course, Google is particularly set up, with YouTube and Google search engines, the setup to make sure that people are getting what they need, of course. So are they looking for something to bust their boredom? Do they want something, to entertain them, or do they want to learn something new, or do they want to win something? So there's all these different things. And of course, there's the motivators, and then there's the pain points. And, pain points, if it's a solution, okay, that would be a motivator, but it's much more the sort of motivators. So use benefits versus features. Let's have a look at this. So we've got here the new gadget watch. Now, so the features are, it is waterproof up to 5 meters. Okay. Now, I don't know, I'm a tech geek, so of course I would go, oh, okay, I might compare them and all the rest. But at the same time, what will probably still catch my attention more is benefits. Take it swimming. Ooh, God, I can actually take it swimming. And then we've got the features, 5 millimeter thick glass. Okay, and then it benefits smash resistant. It's a bit like, it just reminds me of yours, who was the one who put that one there. Sorry, just bear with me a moment. Oh, Jeff, bulletproof. So again, of course, it's kind of like, smash resistant. And then comes in black, white, blue, or gold. Okay, great. So I've got those particular choices. And then the benefits, choose a color to suit your personality. Again, it's for the individual. And then spherical interface. Okay, what is that? And then it benefits comfort and style. So it's always kind of putting the benefits rather than the features. Of course, with a lot of these things, you... Oh dear, Jeff, I hope you're not. Okay, so... anyway, sorry, moving on quickly. Yes, the benefit with the benefits, it's so important to make sure that, you know what I mean? It's kind of features often, as a tech geek, I will often look into the particular features, but you can attach different things if they go that far. You can give them access to a PDF with the full details and that kind of thing. But it's the benefits which people will normally see and recognize and go, oh yeah, that makes sense. I can take it swimming, it's smash resistance, it's bulletproof. All of those different things. Assassin there. Okay, no, only joking. All right, so boost your CV with a free. These are some examples. So boost your CV with a free. Okay, immediately you're like, wow, something free, and it's okay, boost your CV. Okay, they don't see the digital marketing course. But if you'd started off with digital marketing course, people were going, oh, it costs too much. I don't have any time to spare on that, whatever. But the starting off with boost your CV with a free, that's what captures their attention. Get product and engineering on the same page. Product engineering on the same page. And then we've got product roadmap software. If you started with that, they wouldn't even be able to go through this product roadmap software, vocalize the whole thing to actually waste time. They were going, oh, I can't follow that. And then we got get a free coffee roasting kit. Whoa, free roasting kit, cool. And then of course we've got when you try 3 bags of our roasting coffee. There's a catch, of course. So there we've got, but if you started with try 3 bags of our roasting coffee, I'm like, no, forget it. I don't want to buy any of that, whatever it might be. So you start off with that capturing thing particularly. So the other thing is very important, use clear and simple versus complicated language, all right? So I'll give you some examples here. So clear and simple language, it is reader friendly, it is clear, it is structured, it is uncomplicated sentences, everyday words. So anyone can understand this. This is very important. Thank you, Ubili. Innovative, creative, and entertaining. Excellent. So we've got all those things with the clear and simple language, complicated language, technical terms, internal language, jargon, acronyms, flowery language, unnecessary words. Now, I'll give you an example. I worked at one point with McKinsey & Co, and I was speaking to them, and one of the top 3 consultancy companies. And one point I said, "Sorry, what did you just say?" And they're, "Oh, sorry, that was internal language." And you'll get internal language which means, of course, amongst those people in that particular industry, in that particular place, they start to use certain language that is created just for their particular company almost. But the problem is you've got to be so aware of it so you don't use it with people outside of the company. So, so there's internal language, there's technical terms as well. A lot of people won't understand what you're talking about. Jargon, of course, that's the worst when they really don't understand. Acronyms, flowery language, where it's just too sort of, you're kind of getting lost in the examples, unnecessary words. So you're trying to make sure that it's clear and simple, because you've got to make sure that it's clear and simple for often for the buyers. They might not know, even though they might be even tech geeks, they might not know the full details of that particular product. And the point is, you want to be able to get across to people in a really nice, clear, readable, reader-friendly, structured, uncomplicated, with everyday words, so anyone can understand this. So important. It's very important as well to structure your message logically as well. I'd recommend use headings, subheadings, lists, and tables to really help readers navigate through your material. And then also writing short, uncomplicated sentences and leaving out anything that isn't necessary for your message. And then, of course, choosing common everyday words rather than jargon or technical terms. And sometimes it's a very good idea to ask a colleague, or not even a colleague, sorry, because your colleague might know that jargon, but maybe someone who doesn't know anything about your industry, they can help you and tell you whether they understand it or not. All right, so how can you cut your copy but keep the same meaning? All right, so now that's one of the things that we've largely sort of covered. Okay, we've kind of brought that to a close. So how can you cut your copy but keep the same meaning? That's so important, all right? Now we're going to move on to another section. Now this next section is going to be particularly about handling customer complaints on social media, all right? Now, of course, these can happen, and social media, they become public particularly. So it's very important to try to understand their point of view and respond, not react, but respond proactively. So, always be polite and professional, respond as well. But yes, so ask them to contact you directly to resolve it. And remember that you have the opportunity to turn a negative into a massive positive. If people are reading through these different things and you are responding in a proactive way and you solve their problem, that could be a definite positive. So, of course, as well, if the discussion is getting heated or potentially damaging, suggest public message or direct mail. I mean, I would recommend that right from the beginning to take it away from the general arena. Okay. One of the big things is avoid passive language, because of course you kind of saying, it sounds like you're really not Yeah, I suppose that could happen, or one could say, or possibly, if that were to, you don't use passive language, more kind of, we are here to help you and sort out these particular problems. We are really sorry about, so much more. So not passive language. Another thing is, how can you fix the problem? This is the big thing. So focus on acknowledging and fixing. Yeah, so acknowledging, I'm so sorry that you've gone through this. We are here to assist you, and we make sure, not empty emphasizing, oh, what a shame, that's such a shame, oh dear, and not actually doing anything. And don't say stuff you don't really mean. All right, so being jokey has a time and a place, but be careful when it's social media with interaction, okay? And of course, when there's money involved, you need a serious response. If it's something comical, you may want to come back with a slightly, so you've got to be very, very careful with these different things, with being jokey, because of course this is to do with business often and money. And then of course, sign off with a name, very important. Now, we've got this one here. I'm going to take myself off just so you can read it better. So we've got the customer to your company. Look, I ordered a mobile from your company last week, but when it arrived, it was badly damaged. When I called to complain, I was rudely told you don't accept returns and that I need to contact the delivery company for compensation. Is this really how you treat loyal customers? I will never buy from you again. Hopeless. Now, okay, so that's an example of someone who's very cross about it and will never go back to you again, particularly for these things. So we're going to have a look at, obviously I'd open it to you how to respond and everything to give you a chance. But yeah, well, let me put you these questions. Understand, of course, how this can look bad for your company, of course, and make other customers worry about ordering from you. The big thing is the different steps on responding to it, so that you are proactive and there's not a bad mark next to your company particularly. So let's have a look at this. Now, I'll take myself off again. So this is an example of a nice, clear response to the complaints. Hello, customer. Our sincere apologies for this inconvenience caused and the poor customer service you received. It fell below our usually high standards. We value your patronage and will launch a full investigation into why our team provided you with misinformation and didn't treat you with the full respect that you deserve. Please contact me or my direct email, and we can organize a full compensation or replacement for you, Hannah. And of course, obviously, there would be a way that they would be able to get the phone number, the email to be able to contact. Obviously, so the big thing here as well is you are being polite. You are saying, we're very sorry about this. We'll look into it. This is below our high standards, which is making a statement that we have got actually high standards, but we value your patronage and will launch a full investigation. So really, we are taking you very seriously. Please contact me directly to solve this particular problem. So that gives you an idea. And so this is an example of a good response that isn't passive, empty, or jerky. Okay. All right. So pausing for questions. Oh, great. So let me see now. Wow. We've got Cornette from Greater Manchester. Yes, I think I greeted everyone when we started. This is wonderful. This is tremendous. I'm just having to go quite far down the page to find where I am. Where am I now? Sorry, I'm just looking for the questions. Wow, we've got a lot of. Okay. I won't actually. Okay, so we've got. No, I think I actually responded to everything here, which is on the list. So that's fabulous. But Mohammed, any questions there? That's fabulous. We've got a lot of information there. Okay. I will give you a chance, obviously, to, do ask questions. We've still got another 17 minutes, roughly, approximately, during the last section. So do fire away with any questions that you might have. And of course, Mohammed will answer them, and some he will kindly pass on to me. Okay, so let's move on to the next section. So your toolkit for content marketing. Let's go through this to help you with the different things. Okay. All right. Grammarly helps you check all your writing for grammar mistakes and can be added as an extension on your browser. So that's Grammarly. There's some other ones we recommend for you to use. There's also PicMonkey, Adobe Spark Post. There's Giphy, Ripple, RIPL, Word Counter, excuse me, AutoCue, mini tripod with the different things if you're presenting. And then there's Tablet to actually keep in the office and useful business. That's a possibility that you can use, but there's many different things. So there's some different ideas just to get you started. So create engaging visuals. Now this is partly why I said, particularly, of course, the mini tripod. So often it needs to be very stable. So you've got eye-catching photographs. You edit the photos. The other side is you actually use templates, and then of course you've got graphic design apps as well. So VSCO Cam is an easy to use photo editing app with a library of different film-like presets on offer, with easy to use tools allowing you to replicate edits across all images to keep a consistent theme. There's one I know as well called Affinity Photo, but that's quite advanced. But if you're wanting to go to advanced, there is that. Canva is an easy to use free graphic design app on mobile and desktop. You can create your own designs or use templates for a variety of formats, providing sizes or social media posts catered to each network. Okay, so that's VSCO and Canva. Okay. Don't forget as well, start off with what you've got. I mean, if you've got an Android phone and it's a good Samsung or whatever it might be with a good camera, or you can use it, you can start with that. Or you've got an iPhone, whatever, which has got, backdrop, the background out of focus and everything. That's quite nice. I mean, obviously you've got a DSLR camera, but it doesn't mean you have to buy a DSLR camera. You've just got to make it look good and professional, enough lighting and the colors that you're mixing and everything and all of those kind of things. We do have a talk as well about that. Okay. All right. So that's to get you started. Now, smartphone and selfie stick are the most simple tools to really start creating content, allowing you really to take photos and videos of yourself as though you had a cameraman. All right. So this is a good, fun, useful way of actually doing it as well. And at the moment, this picture was actually taken. Normally, of course, actually, I think the image would be facing them, so they could actually see what they were photographing, but you can do it either way. All right. So that's with that particular area. Gosh, we're already on to pausing for questions. If there are any particular questions, fire away, please, because... so yes, AI. You were asking, Restored by God's Love, I see about AI, artificial intelligence. Certainly there are different things which can be used. There is, I don't know if you've ever seen it, but there was a talk by the person who did the AI, which works, I think, with Apple products, for example. And he was talking about it, and it was it was a TED talk about this. And he said that they had nurses. This is for detecting cancer cells. They had nurses, just nurses working on it. And the nurses, of course, did quite well. Of course, they know their trade. Obviously, they know how to look for the cancer cells and everything. Then they got AI to work on it, but the AI didn't do very well in comparison to the nurse. But when they actually tried by combining the nurse and the artificial intelligence, the AI, suddenly it got like 99% or something like that, very high. So the point being, what I feel more than anything with AI is that it can be used to assist one with different things and give you different ideas. I mean, I myself, I'm a composer. And of course, the threat of AI doing all the composing is a big threat as well. But I feel, again, it's kind of like it needs both, maybe. I mean, I prefer really just to go from scratch, quite frankly. But if I'm running short of ideas, I could maybe look to an AI app and sort of get it to give me some ideas, just get me started. But that's what I feel. And I feel that certainly AI can be useful as a tool. Um, but it's more than anything, you've got to test it out, see how it works, and if it's going to assist you with the different things that you're doing. I know there's one actually for providing some of the different content, one called Jounce. I don't know if you ever heard of it. There's another one which comes with a well-known app, for note-taking, I must admit, I do use it quite a lot, called Notion. And now they've developed their own AI as well. So, of course, obviously, there's a lot of these different things which are developing. But I do feel at the end of the day, it needs to be read through by a human being to be checked through to make sure that this makes sense or to improve it. Because it's not going to be perfect through AI at present. That's my opinion anyway. Yes, absolutely. I agree, Jody. It does need a lot more work before it can be used extensively. But at the end of the day as well, I do feel as well, it always needs human beings as well to work with, not just AI. That's my feeling. I mean, ideally with certain things to help people, particularly, especially in, of course, medicine and all the rest, the more where, of course, there's so much demand and everything for these different things. Yeah, absolutely, Gavin. I do agree. It's a tool, not an answer. Very true. Very true. It's like a lot of these things now. We have a lot of different talks, by the way. We've got a lot of talks on artificial intelligence. We've got talks on Google Analytics, for example. That provides you with masses of information. But the point is, again, it's a tool. It's a tool to help you and assist you. And I always feel there are data analysts, of course. I mean, yes, I know you say data. I call it data, but anyway, tomato, tomato. With that particularly, again, it's a tool. And of course, if you can get to know to use it and it can help you, then that's great. But there's data analysts, and data analysts it's training for you need to be almost like a detective to work out what some of these different things means, over time and all the rest. All of that can help you. Absolutely, Loretta. Yeah, I agree. Okay. Skynet is on its way. All right. Okay. So any further questions, people, particularly on this talk, because this will be our last section where we have any questions. Okay. So great. Thank you, Rima. If you have a small business that can't accept return products due to damage from shipping, not entirely your fault. Okay. What's the best way to handle customer complaints? I understand completely. One of the best ways that you could respond, I would have said, is if you do have comments about damage from the shipping and everything, then you respond proactively, but you state that we take on, I mean, about the only way I can think of, Rima, that you would have to state, well, we take on this particular company. If there has been damage, please notify them at this email or this address, and they will look into it. Because if you think about it, even though you might be a small business, Rima, there should be something in the contract where, if there's something damaged within the travel, you know what I mean? They should be answerable for that at least. That's an interesting question. There was actually someone who went through a very bizarre experience where they had, I won't mention the company, had something delivered and it was an empty box. I know it's not laughable, but the person had written a well-known book and had a lot of followers and everything. He did report this, mention this, and a lot of people trying to assist him. And one of the recommendations more than anything is you video yourself opening some of these different things to make sure that, right from the parcel to actually opening it and there's nothing there, for example, or it's damaged. You know what I mean? That's kind of proof that can be used. I know I'm talking about the other side where you're not, of course you are the, but at the same time, I hope that helps you a little bit, Rima. It would need to be taken on by the company anyway. Let me see now. Wouldn't it be more desirable for the retailer to resolve it with the logistics? Yes, absolutely, Gavin. If that is possible and that can be solved, yes, absolutely. The more than anything, if it can be solved, yes. But the problem is when you're taking on companies to deliver, I'm afraid you're having to hand stuff across to them, and of course, there's a risk factor. So I would have said more than anything, have a look at the contracts that you have with them and make sure there is a clause, something to do with that. Okay. Okay, so Jody, got an idea which company it might have been. Oh, okay. We won't go into that, Jody. No, we won't go into that. All right, so let's have a look now. So what are your next steps? So we've gone over several different things. We've just got 5 minutes left. Don't worry, you can still carry on with the questions or comments or other than mentioning which company that was. Okay, so what are your next steps? Obviously, we've covered a lot today, a lot to take away, a lot to put into practice. And the biggest thing is it's you putting it into practice because, of course, a lot of you have contributed masses, which has been absolutely fabulous with, 3 words to describe a company, what celebrities, all sorts of different ideas, questions, and all of that is wonderful. It's really great. Thank you, Jody. So all of these things really do help. So it's really helpful to be able to actually put it into action more than anything. And that's what you've done in this talk, which is fabulous. So what can I say? Carry on with that. Carry through with all these different things that you've started on. Take those notes, take them seriously, go through it. Do you think you need changing it, or discuss it with your friends, your colleagues? Does that make sense? Do you think this is what we stand for? That, what I mean, all these kind of things. Often a third party is quite helpful to give you an idea, what I mean, on some of the different things, which can be helpful. Okay, so all right, there is actually free one-to-one mentoring. Sorry, I'm afraid it's only in the UK, but it's a great opportunity for small business or charity in the UK. We hope in the near future this is going to be applicable to the rest of the world, of course, but at present, I'm afraid it's only the UK. So you sign up for it. Thank you very much, Mohammed. He's just provided you with a one-to-one mentoring link there. So that's a great opportunity. We love to help you. We love to assist you. And of course, that's why we have these talks. That's why we have the mentoring sessions. These are kind of mentoring sessions. It's really nice to be able to help you with the different sides and as much as possible, because all of us have run our own companies, or we've done marketing for companies on all sorts of different sides. I ran an animation company for several years. Now I run, well, it's really just my own company, which is I compose for films. Of course, I've changed again, but all of us have got experience with marketing and getting it out there. And so we want to, of course, help you and assist you with all the different particular tools, particular free tools as well, that we can help you with. Some of the different things, about the only thing you would pay for would be Google Ads. But one of the advantages of registering at least with Google Ads is you have a set of tools you can use, and one of them is Keyword Planner. And of course, Google being the most used search engine, it's quite useful. You can use that for Keyword Planner. Okay, so I hope that helps you. Do book for other ones, other talks. It's always helpful as well to see different people giving these different talks of ours, and you can see different points of view. We all have our own experiences, and it can only expand to your knowledge and your power as a small to medium to big to large to corporation company, whatever it might be. Okay. All right. Wonderful. I want to thank you. So everyone, thank you for all your contributions, your questions. It's been absolutely fabulous. We're going to wrap up here as we are seriously out of time. I hope that has been a useful dive into digital marketing strategy and everything. So not only digital marketing, social media strategy. So I really hope that has been a really good help. That reminds me, there's another one on digital marketing strategy. Don't miss that one as well. So all of these different things. So particularly the writing for social media, this has been one of my favorites for quite a long time. And it's really helpful because it covers many different sides. So as I mentioned at the beginning of the session, if you are interested in more training from Google Digital Garage, there are many different ways you can continue learning. We are running many more Google Digital Garage webinars in different subjects, live streaming as well, all sorts of different things, YouTube for your brand, all sorts of things. If you'd like to check out the schedule of webinars, please see information in the description below. Ones which are 1 hour long are slightly older talks. 45 minutes to 15 minutes are our more up-to-date versions. But you can see this is an old one. It's still got a lot of power in it. So there's a lot you can watch and be helped by. So also, if you would like to carry on learning online in your own time, check out the Google Digital Garage website for more online training courses, which are available to you 24/7, and you can get certificates for those, which is quite nice. I recommend particularly Fundamentals of Digital Marketing, which covers all of digital marketing, taken by Gori and Sarah. So it's really, really good. So I want to thank you, everyone. I want to thank you, Mohammed. You've been absolutely fabulous. I want to thank you, everyone, for joining today, for all your contributions. We really do look forward to welcoming you again to another Google Digital Garage training session soon. Thank you.